Alright, back with another short video. Today's video I want to talk about what I've been thinking about lately. Running is looking back on the races I've done, that no race is a bad race. Every race is a good run. Even if you think it's bad at the time, looking back on it, every race is a good race. But before I get on to that, I just want to talk about summing up yesterday's video. I was talking about how I did a sub 1:30 half marathon. There was a few things that sort of didn't make very clear, but the two main things, or two or three main things, was day before a hard workout run is have that juice with the things I mentioned in it. Have the juice with carrot juice and apples, beetroot, and the other things I mentioned in the last video. And also, after your long run, a smoothie with those other things in it, kale and spirulina, banana and coconut water. So that's a smoothie straight after your long run. And another thing was that I did in the last 6 months, I think helped a lot, getting me a better time, struggling to do like an hour 37 I think I did, an hour 40, hour 30, couldn't seem to get past that time, but what I did in the last 6 months seemed to help heaps, and that was the things I've said in the last video, but also say I was doing 15k run, starting going up and around the hills, 15k on the Monday, like a fart run, and 15k on the Wednesday. Well, one thing I was also doing is the last kilometre of the 15Ks, I just want to mention it because I think it helped a lot. The last kilometre of those 15Ks would come back down to where my van was parked, and I'd do the last, it was 14Ks back to where my van was, and then I'd do another 1K to make it up to 15Ks, run at a much faster pace. Oh, you're tired, but just try and do that last kilometre on the flat, on the road, at a faster pace, pretty much like 90% faster pace, threshold pace, best as you can do. Not over the top where you're just going to wear yourself over the next day, but what they say, threshold pace, just below threshold pace, Yeah, so that's it, and that's on the Wednesday and the Monday and the Wednesday. The last kilometre of your race, even if you're doing a 10k race that day, try and do the last kilometre on the flat at fast pace. That helps. And the last build up towards that half marathon, I was doing around to the hills, say 8k's into the run, find one hill and do 4 or 5 faster hill repeats on that one little hill. So 30-second hill repeats, just get that little faster speed going. So that helped. That's another thing. All the little points help when it comes to that run, trying to improve it. Definitely helps. And another thing I wanted to go into was shoes. You see people going on here about all different types of shoes, but I think it's best to keep to one or two shoes, pairs of shoes. For the bush, I was using, the bush is good. The thing is, people listening to this, they might not be able to apply these things because might not have any hills around, but there must be something you can do. The hills are good because you're not on the hard road. Where I was running for the last few years is on pine forests and dirt roads. It's better on the feet. I believe it's way better on the feet. But I was wearing Hoka Sensen shoes, and probably the best shoes I've ever worn. They just, after 1,500 Ks, they were still as good as when I first got them. So they're amazing shoes. But I also found that probably best not to wear those shoes all the time, rotate the shoes with, I was wearing the Mizuno Adachi 3. They're actually really good shoes as well, but even when I got more closer to putting on a sort of a more intense running towards the last 3 weeks, I ended up just using the Hoka all the time, because when I went back, when you get tired and you've done some hard trainings, you do need those cushion shoes. I went back to the Mizuno that's not so cushioned, and I started getting some niggly pain. So I put the Hoka shoes on. It was all good. Sort of pretty much felt like you could run all day with the Hoka, so they're amazing shoes. Yeah, and that's all I wanted to say about summing up that from just adding to what the little bits of training I did. So You know, if it helps somebody, that's good. So yeah. And another thing I wanted to say was I've been thinking, just looking back on some of the runs I did, where I did Auckland run in about an hour 37, and the year before that it was a bit of a bad run because I didn't. The first time I did Auckland run, I sort of blew out on the Harbour Bridge, and I thought, oh, it was a bad run. But looking back on it, every run is a good run. You know, even if you have a bad run, every run's a good run. It's preparing you for the next run. You only sort of realise it now when I look back. Doesn't matter how bad, even if you fall over and fall on your face, it's a good run. Yeah, it's a good run. It's getting you out there. One example was before I did this race, Hawke's Bay, did my best time ever, 1 hour 28 and a half marathon. Month before I did Waitawiri through the forest here in Levin, and I was just coming to the stage where I'd done enough training, probably too much. I felt like I'd been training about 4 days a week, pretty much high mileage right since last October, and I don't know how many months before that. So I was coming to the point at Waitawiri, I just had enough. I just wanted to have a rest. But I came to 20 k's in the Waitawiri one, ran the wrong way. So I didn't see whether I was sort of blaming other people. Where's that last arrow? I didn't see the arrow. So I ran the wrong way. My time was kind of bit ridiculous because I was doing a really good time. I was doing 1 hour 27 minutes at the Waitawiri, but ran the wrong way in the last 20 k's. So it was ridiculous. So that was a bad run, but it made me a bit more determined to do Hawke's Bay, to get there Hawke's Bay, get it finished, have a rest. So that went amazing, went awesome. So that's sort of what I wanted to say. No run, absolutely no run is a bad run. Unless you break your neck or break your leg, it might be a bad run. But any run is an awesome run. Every run is preparing you for the next run. Okay? You might need a bad run to motivate you to do the whole next race, the best race you've done in your life. Okay, that's all I wanted to say. Yep, I'm going off YouTube for a while, having a bit of a rest. 55 years old now. I don't want to keep running. So I got the next 2 years of stress fractures. So I feel awesome at the moment. Best running condition I've ever been in. That's all I wanted to say. Okay, awesome. See you soon some stage. All good. Have a good run.